Hey Ben, it's Coach Benlin here. I'm breaking down some of your swings from the last couple of sessions. I put all of my notes into a document that I could send over to you after. The first thing I'll do is kind of break down, what I think about your swing, um, at where it is right now. I'll go over a couple of different points of emphasis going forward, things we want to work on in the spring and the summer, a drill recommendation at the bottom, and I'll send this over to you at the end. I have a bunch of loops of your swing, off the tee, off the front toss, off the machine, and a bunch of videos from Twitter and YouTube that I kind of want you to see. And any questions you have at the end, you can shoot me an email or bring them into the next session and we'll discuss. But overall, what I'm seeing, starting at the top here, I think you're really relaxed. Pre-pitch, you have a good rhythm. You're kind of moving the hands up and down here. You have an athletic stance, knees bent. Um, you look like you're ready to go, which is great. You have a minimal head movement, meaning there's not a lot of head movement here. You start with your chin locked on your shoulder, and you track the ball really well out of the pitcher's hand or out of the machine or the front toss, and you see it into the barrel pretty well. So it's something that we work on with a lot of guys. I think you're at a good starting point here for that. Definitely seeing the ball well. As far as your load, there's a couple things I really like. I think you have a simple load. There's not a lot going on here. Small movements. I put easily repeatable and good for timing. You don't have a huge leg kick. There's not a lot of room for error, which is great. It's kind of pick up the front foot, put it down, get ready to hit, which is great. And I love that your hands get all the way back in your load. You build a lot of tension. That front arm is across your chest here. Your hands are back. Your bat's at a good angle right before you launch. I think that's why you generate a lot of power when you square balls up. And I also noticed that you're doing a great job of letting your hands go first early in the swing, and your barrel's coming through the back of the zone, of the strike zone, which is great. You're covering a lot of the plate, which I'll show you. You have a lot of really good pieces off the machine that you're hitting right back up the middle, which is something that a lot of our guys struggle with right now early in the season. And then I love the finish and the follow through. Right, we're talking about extending through the baseball and really finishing it, and throwing your hands out in front. But you have a nice, you have a pretty two-handed finish all the way to your back, which is great. I'll go over these points of emphasis in a second. I just want to kind of show some of the loops that I have. Some are off the tee, some are off the machine and front toss. I'll kind of just go one at a time here and see what we have. Just do this in real time here. We have machine clip here. This is off the tee. Let's start with the tee work here. This is kind of where I broke down the load. I'll play it through and then I'll go frame by frame here. It's a lot of lift off the tee. I've noticed you tend to be pull side, right? You're pulling the ball to the left side of the field, which is good in some cases. We want to make sure we're using the whole field, though. We'll talk about approach in a second. Um, but this is kind of where I broke down the load, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I think I'm actually in the video telling you in person um, to stop, being dead pull. But if I break it frame by frame right here, see how nice rhythm, nice and relaxed. Here comes your load, picking up the front foot right there. That's the peak of your load right here. Your hands are back. Right, barrel's not in a terrible position right there. Right there's a good place to go from launch. All right, so I'll draw on the screen real quick. What I like here, I like that these hands, you know, they're back here, which is great. You can tell by the position of the arm across the chest here, right, which is great stuff. And your angle is not terrible. You want to keep this angle close to a 45. So that's a pretty good position. And I like the knees here, knees bent, athletic. You're picking up your front side here, which is great. And what's really good, and it's kind of technical, but you're doing a great job of it. You land with your front foot closed here. You'll see in a second when you come down, which keeps everything on the front side closed, which is great because you're not going to open up, you're not going to pull your head out. So there's a lot of good things that you're doing initially right here. Let me clear the screen. Continue through the swing. Watch your hands right here. Front foot comes down, so front foot lands right here on this clip. Now here comes the swing, which is also great. Front foot down, then hips, and then hands. You have those steps down pretty well. Front foot down, here come the hips, right there. Here come the hands. Now what I like here in these couple of frames here is look where the barrel is entering the back of the zone, right? You're not gonna go meet the ball out in front Right here, your barrel enters the zone, probably it's kind of blurry, but right there in this clip, which is great. Your hands are out in front, right? Then you make contact. It's really important to get that barrel entering the back of the zone so you cover more plate. You're doing a really good job of that. Let me find another loop here. Let's watch this loop here through. Now, the machine gives our guys a lot of trouble early in the season because they're not used to the timing yet, but you've been doing pretty well off it. One more time here. Simple load, picking up, put it down. You're a little rushed. I would recommend starting a little earlier if you feel rushed. I like the simplicity of it. It's compact, which is great. There's a couple better views here I wanted to get to. Okay, so this is the view from the back here, and you can really see how the ball travels. There's two swings here I wanted to kind of point out. The first one right here, watch this swing right here. This is an outside pitch. You can really see how it, you know, breaks out to the right side of the plate from this angle, and you try to pull this pitch. We'll talk about the approach in a minute, but watch this. Can't pull an outside pitch, right? Roll over to the shortstop. I think you realize that right there, shaking your head. And here you do a much better job. This pitch stays a little more middle, and you send it right back where it came from, which is great. I have an even better shot in a second that I'll show you from a different loop. Let me go over the points of emphasis here. Things I want to work on going forward, right? The first thing is the hand path. What I mean by that is it's literally the path that your hands are going to travel as you swing. I really like a high hand path. Hands across the chest is something that I use a lot vocabulary wise. I know this is very wordy. That's why I send over the document to kind of help you with the language. But I don't want your hands dropping. Sometimes your hands drop and then you come, trying to lift the ball. That leads to pop-ups, right? With your speed, we want to get you being productive. I put cutting the ball in half from the top half of the ball, right? Living with line drives, avoiding putting the ball in the air. There's no bad hops in the air, right? So we want to be productive. We want to keep a high hand path. Um, the second thing that I wanted to talk about is we want to make sure that we're thinking knob of the bat versus thinking barrel, which may seem a little strange at first though, but we want to make sure, I know we've talked about this, we want to make sure that we're leading with the knob, the bottom hand. The bottom hand is going through first, right? Some clips you really do a great job of that. Some of them you're a little inconsistent and you kind of wrap the barrel around the ball, which leads to you being very, pull happy. We want to use the whole field. We want to live gap to gap, line to line. Um, we want to make sure that that knob is getting inside and in front of the baseball. And I'll show you a clip in a minute of what I mean by that. The knob must lead the way. Get the knob in front of the baseball. Let me pull it up right here, actually. Here's a clip of Corey Seager, World Series MVP, and it's a great view here. Just look at the point in which his knob, look how far out in front of his body his knob is getting out front before the barrel follows. Knob in front, then barrel comes late. Notice how the barrel's coming to the back of the zone, like we talked about a second, with your T work. But we must lead with the knob, and you control the knob with the bottom hand. So we're going to talk about throwing that bottom hand out there early, leading with that knob, leading with the bottom hand, and we're going to use the phrase "throw the frisbee with the bottom hand." And what I mean by that is, if you literally had a frisbee, like this guy's going to show you in a second here, and your bottom hands, right, is throwing that frisbee, you want to let that hand get out in front, fully extended, right? Like you're throwing that frisbee right into center field. Here's a side angle here, and I'll show you in slow motion in a second. We want to start in the load position right here with our hands back, right? We want to get to point of contact right here, which I'll show you, and then finish that follow through all the way out in front. Starting here, right? This is where your load would be back more in reality. Here's point of contact here, getting that knob, that bottom hand going towards the pitch, towards the pitcher. And this is what I really want to work on with you. Continuing with that bottom hand as far as possible, letting it get out all the way in front, letting the barrel follow through late, right? So if we say throw the frisbee, we want to get that knob right there all the way out in front, and the barrel will follow through late. And it's a drill I wanted to recommend to you with a short bat, right, or a mini bat, where it's T work with only the bottom hand. And this is what it looks like here. Continuously, as many reps as you can get of just using the mini bat with the bottom hand and just slapping the ball to right field. finishing the path of that bottom hand and throwing the frisbee, as we're going to call it, and just, thinking right center field approach constantly with it. Knob first, then barrel. And we'll do this when we get a chance going forward. One hand, bottom hand drill, this is called. One hand, bottom hand. Back to the document here. Um, we definitely want to work on extending through the baseball. And I'll show you the loop in a second what I'm talking about. You're doing a really great job of getting to the point of contact, right? Getting that barrel on the baseball, right? Squaring it up. We want to make sure that we continue to extend and get through the baseball. We say get through 3 baseballs, and I'll show you what I mean in a second on the loop. But letting our hands finish the path, just like throwing a frisbee, right? Getting it out all the way out in front, not decelerating, slowing down, continuing to go through the baseball. Point of contact is great, right? Continue pushing through that baseball and really extend through it. And let me show you the loop that I kind of loved here. I'll break it down. I have a side view as well I want to show you. So the first thing I'm talking about here with extending through the baseball, let me show you kind of where you get to the point of contact here. It's our 2-piece drill we're working on. So right here, right? You do a pretty good job on this. Here's the point of contact, right? And things I like, and I'll draw right here. This lower half looks great. Nice bend in the backside here. Firm front side. Hands look good there, and that power V extended. And what I really like is this, the way you're seeing. Look at your eyes, staring at that point of contact, right down your arms, at that baseball. What I want to work on though, rather than putting your bat away and letting your hands finish, I want to take, this view right here at the point of contact, and I want to extend it to continuing to push through 1 baseball, 2 baseball, 3 baseballs, all the way here, and then finishing this path, with that big up and out 2-handed follow through that you have this way back towards your back. Okay, getting through 3 baseballs, extending through the baseballs, not being satisfied with the point of contact. Okay, here's a great loop that I wanted to show you. 207, where is it? Okay, there's a swing here that I love. I want to show you. I'll let it play through first. Outside pitch, you try to pull like the other loop we had. Right there. Similar to the other clip. Watch this second swing right here. Right here. I'll play it through once real time. Okay, now let's kind of break this down. This is exactly what we're talking about. So we're going to talk about approach a lot. In the last swing a second ago, you tried to pull an outside pitch, but this pitch, look at it, stays middle. This would be a mistake from a pitcher. And first of all, look at the load, simple load, foot lands. Here come the hips and hands. Look at your head movement all over the baseball, right? Right there. That's a great shot. That's a really great shot from this angle. You're staring at the point of contact, watching it into the barrel. Your hands are out in front leading the way. You're closed on your front side, 90-degree bend in the back leg, right? Everything looks great. And look where this ball travels, right back where it came from. Middle pitches that sit right there, belt high, right back where it came from, right single to center field, right? With a little bit more power, a little more extension. This could split a gap in a game, left center gap, right center gap, and it leads to doubles. We want to hit the balls to the gap. So you do a really great job right here. These are great frames. Play it through one more time at full speed. Really good stuff here. Okay, so a couple more videos I wanted to show you, and then I'll get you out of here, and I'll forward this document to you. So we want to talk about the approach, right? Where is it on the document here? Approach. So we want to avoid being pull happy. We want to use the whole field. We talk about breaking the plate into thirds, and I'll show you what that means in a second. Hit the ball where it's pitched is something you hear a lot. Our goal is to hit all pitches to all fields. We want to be productive, right? Not be one-dimensional. So if we look at this plate here, and I kind of break it down real quick with the drawing, if we break it into thirds, we want to work on, especially in practice here, when we see an inside pitch, we want to catch it out in front of the plate. Recognize it early, let our eyes open up, recognize that that pitch is staying inside and go get it, right? Go get it out in front. Don't let it come and eat you up on the plate, get up in your hands. Go get it out in front early. Shoot it to the left center gap, right? We want to watch middle pitches like you just did. See them well. Let them get here a little bit out in front of the plate, right back where it came from, like in the clip we just showed. Outer half pitches, what I think you need to work on, seeing them a little bit deeper and shooting the right center field gap. All right, we want to recognize pitches where they are, where they're entering the zone, and we want to take them and we want to hit them, gap to gap, inside pitches, spray the left center gap, middle, right back where it came from, outer half, shoot that right center field gap. This is the approach stuff that we're kind of preaching right now. Last couple things I want to show you. We want to make sure that we're not swinging in the same spot. I feel like you like that pitch, middle, right? That's your red zone. That's your hot zone right there. Here's a clip of Fernando Tatis making adjustments, right? High pitches, medium pitches, low pitches. I know there's a lot going on right here, but let's watch the first, the first version of him right here. So watch right here. Watch him attack a high pitch up in the zone, right there. Watch him adjust to a middle, and then watch the back one, lower pitch. Simple adjustments to carry, to catch all thirds of the plate, high pitches, middle pitches, low pitches. We have to adjust to different pitches. This is the next step, I think, for you, and we'll work on that going forward. I tried to find a swing that was similar to yours, and I don't know if you're a Yankee fan. I found, I think it's pretty similar here. Here's DJ LeMahieu, one of my favorite hitters on the Yankees. Um, Simple low, just like you. Two-handed finish. Does a great job using the whole field. Here it is again. Gets all this one. Pick it up, put it down, hands back, launch position. Comes hips and hands, two-hand finish, eyes down. Pretty similar there, man. Let's try to be like that guy. He knows what he's doing. All right, so I'll shoot this document over to you. Any questions you have, you could shoot me an email or bring them into the next session, and we'll keep working on it, man. Great job so far.